In this podcast episode, former Prime Minister Boris Johnson shares insights into his early life influences, family dynamics, and the impact of his upbringing on his public persona. He reflects on his political career, including his tenure as Mayor of London, his role in the Brexit campaign, and the challenges he faced during the COVID-19 pandemic. Johnson also discusses personal loss, public scrutiny, and his aspirations for the future, offering a candid look at the complexities of his life and leadership. Johnson delves into the formative experiences of his early life, highlighting the significant influences that shaped his character and public persona. He reflects on his childhood, describing it as a wonderful, happy experience, despite the challenges his family faced, including frequent relocations and his mother's struggles with mental health. Johnson emphasizes the importance of family dynamics, particularly the competition and camaraderie he shared with his siblings. He recounts his experience with glue ear as a child, which affected his hearing. With a touch of humor, he suggests that this condition may have provided him an escape from engaging with his mother's probing questions. His mother, Charlotte, is a pivotal figure in his life, and he dedicates his book to her memory. Johnson acknowledges her artistic talent and discusses her battle with obsessive-compulsive disorder, OCD, which led to her hospitalization when he was around 10 years old. This challenging period fostered a sense of solidarity among the siblings as they navigated their mother's absence. When reflecting on the emotional pain caused by his mother's hospitalization, Johnson insists that both parents remained loving and supportive. He recalls the day his parents informed him of their divorce, expressing feelings of anger and confusion typical of a child internalizing such events. He emphasizes that children often blame themselves for their parents' separation, a sentiment he acknowledges he felt at the time. The conversation touches on the topic of physical violence in the household. Johnson refrains from discussing specific allegations made by biographers, stating he has no direct knowledge of such events and does not wish to disrespect his parents' memories. He insists that his parents were affectionate towards each other even after their divorce, which helped mitigate the emotional impact on the children. Johnson reflects on the lessons he learned about marriage and love from his parents' relationship, noting that despite their separation, a residual affection remained. He emphasizes the importance of not blaming oneself for parental divorce and highlights the need for children to maintain their self-esteem during such difficult times. The discussion shifts to Johnson's public persona, often described as comedic or buffoonish. He acknowledges that this aspect of his character has been a topic of interest and speculation, with some suggesting it is a calculated marketing strategy. Johnson counters this notion by stating that he has always been energetic and engaging, attributing his comedic tendencies to a desire to entertain and connect with others. He believes humor can be an effective tool in politics, making complex issues more accessible to the public. Reflecting on his media experiences, particularly his time on Have I Got News for You, Johnson suggests that his comedic approach is not a facade, but rather a natural extension of his personality, shaped by his upbringing and family dynamics. He concludes that while he may have a distinct public persona, it is rooted in genuine traits and experiences rather than a deliberate marketing strategy. Johnson discusses the UK's class system and the government's efforts to level up the country. He acknowledges that while some progress has been made, it is insufficient. He highlights the importance of infrastructure, particularly transport, as a means to equalize opportunities across the UK. Johnson expresses pride in initiatives like the rollout of gigabit broadband and emphasizes the need for continued investment in projects like HS2 and Northern Powerhouse Rail. Reflecting on his experiences in education, particularly in underfunded schools, Johnson observes significant disparities in resources and opportunities for students. He argues that the education system is crucial for leveling up and that improving the quality of education is essential to provide equal opportunities for all children, regardless of their background. He criticizes the current funding model that ties school resources to student enrollment and league table rankings, which can lead to a downward spiral for struggling schools. Transitioning to his political career, Johnson recounts his journey from journalism to becoming the mayor of London. He discusses his unexpected victory in the mayoral race, noting that he did not initially anticipate winning but felt there was a good chance. He emphasizes the importance of addressing crime, particularly knife crime, during his tenure as mayor, where he successfully reduced murder rates in London. The conversation shifts to his role in the Brexit campaign, where he served as co-leader alongside Michael Gove. Johnson reflects on the challenges he faced during his premiership, particularly the generational crises of Brexit, the COVID-19 pandemic, and the Ukraine war. He acknowledges that these events were significant, but believes they are part of the job of being Prime Minister. When discussing the Brexit vote, Johnson shares his conflicted feelings leading up to the referendum. He notes that while he believed in the importance of leaving the EU, he was also aware of the potential downsides, including the impact on Scotland and the geopolitical landscape. He recalls a moment of internal struggle before ultimately deciding to support the Leave campaign. Johnson addresses the criticism regarding the lack of a clear plan for post-Brexit Britain. He argues that the campaign was about restoring national sovereignty and democratic control rather than outlining a specific plan for government. He believes that the government should have taken the lead in formulating a plan after the referendum rather than placing the burden on the Leave campaigners. The discussion also touches on his relationship with former Prime Minister David Cameron and how Cameron reacted when Johnson expressed his intention to support leaving the EU. Johnson recounts a tense conversation where Cameron warned him that he would screw him up forever if he chose to leave. This moment illustrates the high stakes and personal tensions involved in the political landscape at the time. Johnson reflects on the issue of appointing individuals to high-level government positions without prior experience in those roles. He acknowledges that this is a concern and suggests that the political environment may deter capable individuals from entering politics. He expresses worry that the current climate, exacerbated by social media, makes it difficult for talented people to engage in public service, as they face significant scrutiny and criticism. During the podcast, Johnson discusses various aspects of his leadership during the pandemic, including the tiering system, the mental toll of the crisis, and the impact of his mother's death. He describes the tiering system as bonkers, expressing frustration with the constant need to shut down the country and the crude methods used to control the virus's spread. When asked about the mental toll of leading during the pandemic, Johnson admits it was challenging. He shares that he found it difficult to deal with the daily reports of illness and death. However, his mood improved significantly with the prospect of vaccinations becoming available by the end of 2020, providing a sense of hope and a way forward. Johnson discusses the death of his mother, Charlotte, in September 2021, noting that it was a tough moment for him and his family. He acknowledges the universal nature of grief, especially during the pandemic when many were losing loved ones. He reflects on the difficulty of processing his mother's death while managing the ongoing crisis, emphasizing the need to remain mindful of the collective suffering experienced by the public. The conversation shifts to the Partygate scandal, where Johnson addresses the allegations of rule-breaking gatherings at Downing Street during lockdown. He expresses understanding of the public's outrage, especially given the sacrifices many made during the pandemic. Johnson clarifies that he was fined for a specific incident involving a gathering at his desk, not for a party. He admits to mishandling the situation and acknowledges that his initial blanket apology may have inadvertently validated false allegations against his team. When asked about his family, Johnson states he has 8 children and expresses confusion over why this topic is widely debated, as it is a matter of public record. He seems to find the public's obsession with his family life puzzling. He clarifies that Charlotte Owen, mentioned in the podcast, is not a former lover, but a capable advisor, emphasizing her professional abilities and contributions to his team. As for his future, Johnson shares that he is enjoying a quieter existence in the countryside, engaging in painting and other activities. He expresses a sense of contentment and suggests that he is not currently seeking a return to politics unless he believes he can be genuinely useful. In the final moments of the podcast, Johnson reflects on relationships lost in the pursuit of success. He acknowledges past ruptures, particularly with Michael Gove, but maintains an optimistic view that relationships can be mended over time. He emphasizes that he does not view any relationship as permanently lost, suggesting a belief in the possibility of reconciliation.